I just received in the mail my mini A100 back from Alex Steingraber. I had him regrind it for me. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to even out both sides completely. The plunge grind is still asymmetrical. It favors this side. The main grind would start eating into the apex if he had evened it out, and then he would have been chasing it back and forth until he whittled away a lot of metal. So to prevent that, he just thinned out both sides as well as he could, and we're going to leave it as is. Not that big a deal. I mean, I've ground plenty of asymmetrically ground knives, so I can always compensate for it. Disregarding that fact, the knife itself, if you guys have never held an A100 mini, they're freaking awesome. It's perfect size. It's a nice complement to the A100, just smaller. However, this isn't the knife I'm going to sharpen tonight. I'm going to sharpen my full-sized A100, and I'll insert some clips to show you. I've got quite a bit of damage in the edge from cutting cable at work, as you'll see. What I'm going to use tonight are my Gritomatic silicon carbide stones, 240 1K 2500. Now these stones aren't required for such a simple steel, which is 154 cm. However, they are quick and they do leave a toothy edge, which is what I'm aiming for on this knife. I may actually just stop at the 1K. I'm going to test the edge once I'm done and see how it feels. So my first order of business is going to be to remove this damage. And I'm just keeping the same angle that I sharpened it at. I'm not inverting it, although that would probably be the quickest way to get rid of them. I've got just the shadow of one of those chips left, but it's almost ground out. Got a nice healthy burr built up. Don't see any more chips. I'm going to go back to the microscope. Make sure I've got them completely removed. I'm going to touch on this tip just a little bit more. As you'll see in the video, the apex is a little jagged, but that's to be expected with the 240 grit. The 1K should clean it up a little bit more, make the apex cleaner. I need to work on the tip a little more. The scratch pattern is going sideways instead of at a decent angle, so I need to, instead of sharpening the knife at such an extreme angle, I need to change it around a little bit, give it a little more straightness, at least in that area. I get asked often, how do I know when to switch stones? And the way you do that is by looking at the scratch pattern. And I can tell already I'm pretty much done on this side. I can even feel a burr. But just looking at my scratch pattern, I can see that my scratches compared to this side are already set at the 1K level, and they go from the shoulder all the way to the apex. You guys might remember I was supposed to do a giveaway at 2,000 subs. Well, COVID-19 hit and all that mess came about. I broke my ankle, so I delayed it. I think it's time we go ahead and get that going. So I have a Gritomatic Hapstone M2 that I am going to be giving away. All you got to do to enter is comment on this video and mention the Hapstone, or rather mention Gritomatic. Let's just leave it at that. I'm doing this in the middle of my video so that only those guys who actually watch them will benefit from it. Again, looking at my scratch pattern, I can tell there's a few spots not quite where they need to be. Got a burr developed. I am going to go ahead and finish on the 2500 grit. Still got a little bit of ugliness going on near the tip, so hopefully I can get it cleaned up with this stone. Got a little unevenness in my bevel, but I think that's from the main grind. I've got a nice burr going on down there. This side looks good, straight. So I'm going to let my entries go for 2 weeks. Whoever wins will do a random generator. Whoever wins will have exactly 1 week to contact me. If within that week I am not contacted by email, you will forfeit your claim and I will choose someone else. Last time I did a giveaway, the winner never stepped forward and I had to do that. So just a heads up, you will have 1 week to contact me. And again, I'll let it go for 2 weeks. To strop, I'm going to use my Dlt XL double-sided strop. I've got white compound on this side, CBN emulsion at 2 micron on this side. And I'm just going to use the white compound. That should be plenty. Kept getting a hang up right in here, but I think it was the way I was holding the paper. It's cutting clean. And my microscope shots didn't show any damage there. $112. 107. 113. So the average comes out to 111. Not too shabby. Not super great either though. However, I'm satisfied with it. It is as sharp as I'll ever need a knife to be. And it is starting to go back up into some of the thickness of the steel, so next few times I sharpen it, I'm probably going to look at putting it on the stone and actually thinning it out just a hair. Right here you can see that little waviness I was talking about. I think the main grind fattens up just a hair just behind that plunge area. And I did damage the actual face of the knife. at work cutting cable that was hot. It had electricity on it, which of course melts steel. Not a lot of reflectivity, but there's a little there. That's not what I was after tonight, however. I just wanted a nice, toothy, aggressive apex, which I've pretty much got. Not super polished. That'll do me nicely. Well guys, I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them down below. Y'all have a good one.